The family thought Atlas had finally turned. He hadn't. He was the only one in that house paying attention. The baby fell first. Not a tumble, not a soft sideways tip the way babies fall when they run out of balance. Declan hit the hardwood floor in the living room, and the sound was wrong. The kind of heavy thud that travels up through your feet before your brain finishes the sentence. Mara was in the kitchen. She was there in 4 steps. Declan was already sitting up, 10 months old, face scrunched, fists clenched, the silence before the scream. He was fine. The fall was nothing, but Atlas was already there. The Bernese Mountain Dog had crossed the room before Mara reached the doorway. 112 pounds of dog, lowering his head until his nose was 6 inches from the baby's face, pressing forward, inhaling. Slow, deliberate. Declan screamed. Atlas didn't move. Mara crossed the room, grabbed the dog by the collar, pulled him back. Atlas looked at her, turned back to the baby, took 1 step forward, and pressed his nose toward the boy's mouth again. She pulled him away a second time. He came back. That was the first night. They told themselves it was the fall, the excitement. Atlas had always been protective, overly so. And this was that same instinct, misfiring. Her husband, Garrett, came home from a site visit and listened to her describe it and said what both of them were already thinking. He was on top of him. Mara. That's not protective. That's something else. Garrett had grown up with dogs, 3 of them over the years, all large breeds. He knew what a dog looked like when it crossed a line. He was certain about what he had not seen. He was wrong about why. The second time happened 3 days later. Declan had been fussy all morning, not sick, not injured, just the low-grade irritability of a baby whose sleep had been broken twice in the night. He was sitting on the playmat when Atlas came from the back hallway and did the same thing, nose to the baby's face, pressing forward. Slow, focused inhale held for 4 full seconds before he pulled back, looked at Mara directly, and returned. Mara pushed him away. He sat. He watched the baby. Then he tried again. She called her sister, who had 2 dogs and 2 kids and had navigated every behavioral challenge Mara could imagine. Her sister said, without hesitation, that is resource guarding. He sees the baby as his, and he is asserting dominance. You need to separate them before it escalates. You know what comes after that behavior. Mara knew. She had read the same things her sister had. She had seen the incident reports in the parenting groups. Large breed dogs, babies on the floor. The pattern was always the same, and she was not going to be another story. Atlas went into the laundry room that night. He did not bark. He lay down against the door and did not move for hours. Mara could see the shadow of his paws under the gap. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you are in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. The third night, Declan woke at 1:40 in the morning. Not crying. Small sounds. The kind that don't accelerate. The kind that plateau and hold. Mara gave it 8 minutes on the monitor. Then 10. Then she went to him. He was in the crib, eyes open, not tracking her the way he normally tracked her. His face had a quality she did not have a clinical word for. Pale was not the right word. Off was the only word she had. She put her hand on his chest and the temperature of his skin registered wrong before she could say why. She picked him up. His body was present, but not responding the way a baby responds when you pick them up. He did not reach for her. He did not shift his weight into her shoulder. She was already moving toward the door when she heard Atlas hit the laundry room door. Not scratching, not barking. Wait. His full body thrown against the hollow core door in one flat impact. Then again. She called 911 in the hallway with Declan against her chest. She used the words she had: unresponsive, temperature change, something wrong with my baby. I don't know what it is. Something is wrong. Declan's blood glucose was 39 milligrams per deciliter when the paramedics tested it in the front yard. The normal range for an infant is between 70 and 100. At 39, the brain begins losing its fuel source. The timeline from that level to permanent consequence is not measured in hours. Has your dog ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that made sense? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. Dr. Sina Farahani, pediatric endocrinology, told them what had been happening. Declan had a rare transient hypoglycemic condition triggered by disrupted sleep cycles. His glucose had been dropping across multiple nights without flagging any alarm. No monitor in that house measured it. No symptom visible to a human eye flagged it at the level Atlas was responding to. When blood glucose falls, the body produces volatile organic compounds on the breath: isoprene, acetone derivatives, compounds dogs register at concentrations measured in parts per trillion, thousands of times below human sensory threshold. Atlas had been reading a number none of them could see. Every time he pressed his nose to Declan's face, he was checking the reading. Every time the number was wrong, he came back. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. They brought Declan home on a Thursday. A continuous glucose monitor, small, round, adhered to the inside of his left arm, now tracked his levels through the night and sent alerts to both their phones. They opened the laundry room door when they got home. Atlas walked out without drama. He crossed the living room, stood at the edge of Declan's playmat, and lowered his head once. Then he lay down 6 inches from the mat's edge. He stayed there. Mara sat on the floor across from him that night. She did not say anything for a long time. The monitor on Declan's arm blinked green in the low light. Atlas's eyes moved between the child and the blinking light, back and forth, even across the room, reading the number the way he always had. The next story involves a dog who refused to let a toddler leave the house. One morning, what the family found when they finally listened has never fully left them.